Hey, it's Sandra from House of Funk, and I am here with LuAnn Nigara, longtime friend, longtime mentor.
Sandra, I know that you're an outstanding businesswoman, but business is hard. As entrepreneurs, we face really big challenges. And I remember we were together while you were going through a very specific challenge that you had in your business a couple of years ago. Do you want to share with everybody that little come to Jesus moment that you had that week?
Definitely. I was in a great growth place in my business. We had grown the team, we had grown from a basement to a boutique firm, we had grown in size, we had grown in design fees, and we were doing the same model that we'd always been doing, but the fees were bigger, the overhead was bigger, and the stakes were bigger. I really hit a wall, and I think it was with probably 3 different projects, all within the same 6 months. And it felt like a free fall. So what was going on is I was charging hourly, and I was giving a fee estimate at the front end of the job. So I thought I was communicating an appropriate budget for fees. At that time, I was not setting a budget for furnishings at the front end of the job. So I was talking about fees. We were talking about ballpark budgets, but we weren't getting really specific. I wasn't giving enough information on that end. And what was happening was our hourly rate had gone up. Even though we had a fee estimate, none of those clients believed that they would actually get invoiced to that level. I had a situation where I had billed about $18,000 in design fees, and I hadn't presented anything yet. A lot of the design happens up front. You know, we're very busy on your project right now, but we're not busy interacting with the client, and the client needs something back if they're going to keep just once every 2 weeks writing a check.
When we were alone at the airport was when you said to me, this is what's going on.
It was this moment of, so funny. I remember sitting outside of security and me being like, I can't believe it. Another one bites the dust, right? And totally like, the first degree is not acceptance, it's anger. You start anger, and I was
angry.
Pissed. Yeah. And I didn't understand it.
Even hearing you in that moment be so upset, and really you were rocked. You were just like, I don't get this. I'm not a new entrepreneur. Why is this happening? And when it happened that third time, at that moment you weren't seeing that you had a hand in it, that it really was outside happening to you. I didn't know anything, but what I did know was that you are a smart businesswoman. And so the only thing I could think was that you knew it all inside, but they didn't.
Right.
You're speaking Russian and they're speaking English. And I think that's what clients do. I think they do sign a dotted line before they truly understand, because I think that designers do present it as, this is typical, this is the way it's done. And so there are personalities that will not admit that they don't understand the terms of engagement. And so I kept saying to you, are you clear? Yes. Are you making it clear? Do you get full knowledgeable, like the light bulb is going off in their mind before you go forward?
Right. And it was definitely not.
Right. As your business grows, it requires different agreements, different processes, different clarity. If it's a 5, 6, 8 month, project, and 2 months into it, I'm writing checks and I'm up to 20 grand and I haven't heard from you. Now I, as a consumer, start to going, am I an idiot here? Like, I'm writing checks and I don't have anything. And the thing is, some will call and say, am I an idiot here? What's going on? And others will just, the next opportunity, say, I'm disengaging. And that's what you were experiencing.
Definitely. Yeah, that they were just pulling the ripcord because they didn't get what was happening.
After you do your, okay, how will I redo it the next way? How do I want to reorganize this? How can I create clarity? One of the things that I always ask people to do is now go back and review and see what one thing you could have changed that would have changed an outcome.
This was my big come to Jesus moment, right? And I always joke that, there I was curled up in a small ball under my desk. rocking back and forth and swearing, I will change how I do this, or I will stop doing this.
Stop doing it.
Because there was not another minute where I was going to send another time bill. It's so my favorite line. I know there's a lot of quotables out there of LuAnn, but my favorite is always, what could you have done better? We see this over and over again, and we pulled over, we got it right, we built our structure, and we didn't just get a new contract, we built the whole process around it, right? So we laid everything out, and we've had, blips in the road since then. It's not like we're perfect. And I can tell you with absolute clarity, every time we have a blip in the road where things get a little, that old line, if the client's calling you, asking you what's going on, you've dropped the ball, right? You should always be ahead of that. I can look at it and go, oh, well, we didn't follow the process exactly in this one because blah, blah cousin, or blah, blah good friend, or blah, blah is an old client, but they don't hit the current avatar, but yet they got grandfathered in. Like, there's a million ways and reasons that you might not follow your own template, but man,
it bites you
every time. Oh my gosh, how many things we've changed. To sit and talk to you about this, and to think about the level of communication that we have with our clients now, the level of clarity of exactly what's going to happen next, how we've changed our, flat fee up front, and then purchasing and execution goes through House of Funk, and how we've leveled the playing field and made it really put the power back into our client's hand as far as they are in charge of their budget. They are in, really giving them back the reins.
Yes. I have to say, I remember saying that too. It's like, you are dealing with grown-ups. Give them choices.
Exactly.
Either ors. You want this? Oh, you don't want to spend 18? Fine. Then we'll take this away.
Totally.
But don't send me a bill for 18 and you think I understood why I was getting it.
When I had really good projects and really nice people crashing and burning because they didn't get what was going on, because I had kind of moved into a new pond and I hadn't restructured appropriately. Right. So when I pulled over and I got together with a lawyer, a business strategist, and a coach, and I didn't take on a new project for 3 months. Wow. I refused to sign a new agreement.
So smart.
Well, thank God I had some work still in the coffers. Everybody hadn't fallen away. But I said, I'm not going to sign another agreement that's at risk. And I really talked to experts outside of our industry. Was huge. The 3 people that I brought in to my think tank for this new structure, not interior design based. Because honestly, I needed to think about this as an entrepreneur, not the way it's done. I think I probably spent 10 grand on consultations and coaches and the lawyer to get
Which is another testament to you, because the thing is, that was what I saw in you from the very beginning. To be an entrepreneur, you have to stomach risk. And you cannot wait until all the ducks are lined up to make a move. Rip the Band-Aid.
Yep.
We're going to make an investment here. We're going to make it work. We're not going to spend it foolishly or frivolously. But, that's that inner grit that's like, no. And it's so true. And I'm so glad that you did go outside the industry, because it is one of the Achilles heel is, well, this is how we do it. Right. This is what it is. But you're not selling design to designers.
Correct.
You're selling design to the rest of us who think a different way, or at least at the very minimum don't understand the way your business model thinks.
It went from, we can do it this way, we can do it that way, to it's a flat fee plus purchasing and execution goes through us. And I'm going to give it the flat fee, and we're going to work together on the budget. Yeah. And now we sign the budget at the time that we sign the agreement. So they pick out the number of rooms, however many rooms they want to do. We set the budget together then.
Nice.
Then we dig into the project and we sign the budget again at the end of conceptual design.
Right.
The budget needs to be readdressed.
Right.
That's something I never used to do. Yeah. Well, but we added so much.
Yes.
It's a form that we fill out together at the end of the conceptual design meeting. Now we know we're going to do this, 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 and this. Here's your budget, freight, tax.
Here's the change. Sign
Here's
it
how it's going to look.
Yeah.
Sign again.
So brilliant.
And if we need to shift that, that's where we shift it.
Well, and that's
the
point.
Before we go further down this rabbit hole.
This is that you're dealing with a grown-up. They don't have to sign right then and there. They can say, absolutely not. You can say, okay, the wall stays. There's no angst. There's no push and pull. There's no negotiation. It's just, this is what it is. You don't have to take it. Go back to the other one.
All day long.
Right.
All day long.
It is a journey. We talked about it. It's a journey. There's a lot of ups. There's a lot of downs. But you can cut the path. You can take the straight line. And it's only because people like yourself have decided that they live in abundance and that they have a mission to share what they've learned. And the standard is the epitome of that. It is the manifestation of that. It is that. I actually just got goosebumps, like totally for real, because you stop the brakes on your business to relearn your business and to recalibrate it. But then you stop the brakes on the business again to make it so that other people can duplicate it. Like, that is a huge thing. Most people are like, it would be so great if everybody knew all of the things that I know, but, well, I'm too busy. You've carved time out of your business making activities to put this labor of love together. What I love about your design standard is that for you, this has come out of 20 years of being an interior designer and of the ups and the downs and the hard lessons and the growth. What worked at a $5,000 project doesn't work at a 20, and now you've got $100,000 and $200,000 and $300,000 projects. And so what's cool is if somebody's doing something really well and really smart, if you're at a newer part of the journey, do you need to make all the same mistakes? Like, do you?
I love that.
Do you? Like, you could.
This whole thing is based on the fact that I believe in abundance.
Yes.
I believe that there's enough work out there that we are all going to be fine, and that by sharing my knowledge and my hard knocks lessons that I've learned doesn't bring me down in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all. No, there's enough for everybody. When you get to the point in your business journey where you honor yourself as the entrepreneur that knows what they're doing.
Stay in your space. If you know your stuff, you can walk into a room and confidently express that.
Yeah.
And you must.
Yeah.
If you're going to close, multiple six-figure jobs, you have to be so clear.
That's right. And, I've had dozens of designers over the last 4 years say, I want to be like Sandra Funk and I want to stand in my space, or I feel like she would be proud of me. I'm standing in my space now,
So
and
proud.
I love it. It's
So
like
proud.
you're inspiring so many designers. It's so
Good. I had somebody say to me recently, well, how do you know when you're ready to stand in your space?
Oh, see?
And we had to go back to one of my favorite Marie Forleo lines, permission granted.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Right this
That's
very
it.
minute.
That's
It's
it.
just a decision you
That's
make.
it's decide to be excellent.
Decide to be excellent. I remember waiting for someone to tell me that I was a good designer.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Like, I was waiting for editorial, I was waiting for clients, I was waiting for my husband, my sister, my parents.
Yeah.
I was waiting for someone to say, wow, you're a really great designer. Like, that's a beautiful room.
It's so powerful, Sandra, because you know what? All of those people already thought you were, but they had no idea how important it would be for you to hear it from them. That's so powerful right there. As an industry, not only help share whatever, but look in each other's eyeballs and say, you're a really good designer. I've seen your work.
I love
I
that.
don't even talk about the pretty, and now I'm just like, oh, I should acknowledge them more.
I have to tell you, it's crazy.
Having a little moment here.
I know. And I've heard you say, we know you can do the pretty.
Yeah, I expect you can do the pretty.
Right.
That's my
Yes.
like, it never would have occurred to me that I ever needed to look at you, and I have complimented you on your work because I've seen it in real life, and I'm like, oh my God. But I do take that for granted. Like, I expect that every person I speak to is talent. Stop.
Right.
But it's a very emotional thing that you guys
it's
have
our
cultivated.
art.
Yes.
It's our art. It's our art. It's our
I
babies.
have to be nicer about that.
No, it's one thing to run a good
Sandra,
business and be
you're
profitable.
an amazingly talented interior designer. Do you know that? You are. I always say what a good businesswoman you are, but it's true.
It's our art, it's our baby, and I always talk about at the end of every project, I feel like I'm giving the project back to the homeowners because it has been caretaken by us for many months in most cases.
Yeah. If I were an interior designer, there's not a chance that I would be running a business without this tool. It would be ludicrous to try.
And I can't help but thinking about if the 5 years in business Sandra had a tool like this.
Yes.
I could just keep seeing the guy catapulting forward,
Yes.
just leaps and bounds ahead.
Forget 5 years in business. I know designers that are in business 15, 20, 25, 30. that this would be valuable for. They say to me, some days I just wake up and say, when will, like, why do I have 2 projects that go well and one that's off the rails?
Yep.
And it's always
It's that process. It's locking it down.
because you're not doing all 3 projects the same way.
Correct. If you're not so lucky to have a mentor and a friend like LuAnn Nigara, you need to be in the community with a well-designed business. It has knitted this entire industry together. It is the backbone of so many communities that have webbed together across this nation and across the world.
Yeah.
And it's really a huge part of my inspiration for being in touch with our industry.
Right.
We were not in touch like this before.
Right.
And so this has given me the ability to speak to all the designers and realize that we're all having this struggle separately in our own little silos,
Right.
and it's unnecessary.
Between what you're creating and the podcast, what it has is there's a lot of people there that are like us, that are happy to be helpful and to share and to, you know, make the tide and the ships and everything rise and whatever all that is.
That's the mantra, right? Mine, we love is Rise Designers Rise.
Ah, that's
Good.
awesome.
It's good.
Rise Designers. Ooh, I just got goosebumps
Me too.
again.
I love it.
Rise Designers. It's like ripples of goosebumps.
Can't you feel it though?
Wow, I'm feeling it literally through my body.
Me too.
Rise Designers Rise. Whoa.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too.